Hello guys and welcome back. In this video I wanted to talk about Houdini proceduralism, which is the core foundation of Houdini itself. And I believe you guys have seen this word pretty much everywhere. You see Houdini proceduralism, you see Houdini procedural house, procedural model, and what really is basically the foundation of how Houdini works. And I wanted to explain it using an example that is not creating CG, something in CG. I wanted to explain it using a real life example to hopefully give you guys an idea of how this works. And the main core for it is you have a set of data, an input, you run it through a process and it generates a new data. And this concept, you can, once you have a chain of actions, once you have a network that process that data, you can still swap any of the inputs or even the main input. And I want to show it with an example here. Let's say we have some water and we have cement, and we're going to combine both of them. Okay, we have an input mixed with a second input that's going to produce a concrete liquid. It's concrete, but it's not dry yet, it's not solid. And we can take this concrete liquid and run it through a molding process, and from that molding we can, for example, run it through a molding process to create walls or create bricks. So we take that data and we process it through different via two different ways, and that's going to create bricks and walls. And if we take these two inputs and combine them, we can create a reinforced wall that has bricks on the inside and two thin concrete walls on the outer layer, and that's going to produce a wall. Now if we run this process multiple times, we can create 4 walls, and for each wall we want to rotate it so it covers one side, and we want to create a room. So we have 4 walls here, each rotated at a specific angle, and then we're going to combine all of them to create a room, which is basically a box made of 4 concrete walls. Now let's say an explosion happened in this room, and we're going to introduce the explosion here, which is going to destroy this room, these walls, and that's going to produce rocks, debris, smoke, and noise. And this is basically how Houdini works. You have an input and then you modify that data. You can also make run the data through different chains. You don't have you have the molding process here. We can create any let's say we have another process for concrete roof. It creates some roof, and you can basically split at any points and run the data through different processes. And now that we have the network going, we can swap the input. Let's say we're not happy with the water, for example. We want to change it with oil. I don't know how exactly it's going to work, but I don't think it will work properly. But instead of the water, we can swap it with oil this time, and that will create a it will create a concrete liquid, but instead of water, it will be oil. I'm not sure what is going to happen, but the network and everything will run through as if it's water. So we can just swap the inputs. Okay, we can change the cement. We can put the water back. Actually, let's add a merge here so it's easier to make it clear that it's merging a combination process, and call it combine. So let's say we're not happy with the cement quality. We can change a cement from a new provider that offers a better quality, for example, and try that and run it through the same chain, and then see how it works. Now with this wall, we can also make more copies and create a bigger room, or we can take this room here and make more copies. So this is room 1. We can make another copy, and then this one we need to move it. So we're going to add a translate process. We're going to move it somewhere. Let me create. Sorry. Let's just copy this and translate the room. and then combine these two guys to create a new type of house, a different house. Okay, and that's how Houdini works pretty much. You have a network, you have an input, you process that input, and then you can reuse or split that data to process it in many different ways, combine them, and then continue doing that. And this is how Houdini works. This is the proceduralism. You're not tied to what kind of inputs you can have. You can change this to anything you want, and the network will just work. Now, whether that's going to produce something correct or not, it's up to the input and whether they're valid for that for this process or not. You can also combine you can also reuse the data in many different ways. Let's say at the point of creating the house here, we wanted to get some more of that concrete liquid. We wanted something to create the base, but we need the final walls. You can import data from here and merge it with this. Okay, so we can call out any data at any steps of all these processes and merge them with the final result. So you don't have to go straight top-down design. You can call out any data at any point and merge it with with something different, and you get a different result. And that's pretty much how Houdini works. Now, in the next examples, once we understand how the UI works and what are all these nodes and how to create them, we're going to start creating an example to show you guys how this works with an actual 3D geometry. Hopefully this makes sense, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.